Alright, time to talk about the movie that was actually the only film opening up in wide release last week. As it turns out, The Book Thief was not in wide release, but has been sent to several small theaters throughout the country, and the area I was in the night before I reviewed it was actually an area that had it, and I saw it and didn't realize it wasn't going to be in wide release for that weekend. So let's talk about this movie, which has a bunch of stuff that's crazy and blah 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 blah. Cue title scene, blah blah blah. Now, as you saw in my pre-title scene, a lot of crazy things happen in this movie. That is way too accurate. Yup. Essentially, for those of you who don't know, The Best Man's Holiday is the sequel to a movie called The Best Man's Wedding, which came out like 10 years ago, so yeah. I've never even heard of the last movie, and this film didn't seem that appealing to me, so I skipped it last week, but wound up catching it this morning. And is this film good? Yeah. It was really funny, especially from Mr. Terrence Howard himself. Terrence Howard is one of those actors where I feel like he's really charismatic, always brings a lot to the table, always feels smart, but doesn't seem to always get put in roles that really make that work. This is one of those roles that works. Essentially, he plays like your bachelor, your cool guy. He's the one never gonna get married, always be going after the ladies. And in this film, you see a lot of that, and it is funny. And essentially, he does come across as connectable. It's kind of how it sounds. Basically, all the guys from the last movie get together for a holiday. This film is kind of like a Christmas movie, which I don't like because we're not close to Christmas, but it works in this movie because it's your reason they're together. And in reality, it's not an uber big on Christmas movie. It's really about all these guys and their relationships. You have a fairly large cast of all very talented, very people with big personalities, and typically that kind of means someone gets lost in the sauce. Here it doesn't. You can tell everyone in this film works together perfectly. You understand their interactions. You understand how they all get along. You understand what's nice about them. I mean, the one who definitely shines through and I feel really is the big star is Terrence Howard. His character was hilarious. He's like what Neil Patrick Harris's character should be on How I Met Your Mother, only if that character was well written and not just completely over the top. Definitely I felt like with Terrence Howard's character in this movie, it was someone who just kept me laughing the whole time, and it just felt fun to watch. And then the problem starts. I won't spoil it because it is a big part of the film. Something dramatic happens in this movie, and it's kind of what propels you through the rest of it about halfway through. Honestly, it didn't really work, personally. It just felt like it was such a funny film, and it was working so well, and it had heart, and it had emotion, and I cared about these characters. I didn't need for this to happen. Or if it was going to happen, do it at the beginning. It felt like the whole film was building up to this, and then it never quite went anywhere afterwards. It just kind of felt like bringing it up, never moving on from it, like that was the big deal of the movie, and it didn't come across that way to me. You saw the commercials, you saw the trailers, they're looking at dick pics and stuff, and they break cell phones, and it's funny, and it just felt weird to throw all this in there at once. So when it came down to it, it's like, it's a comedy, and it's funny, and it's entertaining, and everyone's good, and everything's great. And then just halfway through, for me, it kind of just falls a bit, and stumbles, and never quite recovers. But overall, I can't ignore the fact this film was fun, it was enjoyable, I had a good time with it. I'm going to go 7 out of 10 on the comedy scale. I just thought it was a really nice, enjoyable time that could have been a lot better. But as for you guys, what holiday comedy are you looking forward to? There are several, or what holiday comedy is your favorite? That should probably be back in theaters. Leave that comment below, and if you want to subscribe, please click that subscribe button, because hopefully I can do a review next time for this weekend that's about a movie that's actually coming out this weekend. Blah blah.